Oh, hello everyone. Are we back? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, if you can see me. I know. Yes, let me readjust. Thumbs up if you can hear me, if the sound is okay, and you can see my beautiful piece here, okay? My gecko rouge. I know this has become part of the sort of, yogi live stream experience, isn't it? Chasing the streams. You never know what's going to happen to the streams. So like chasing the tornadoes. You just go wherever it goes. Yes. Well done, everyone. Found your way back here. You guys are getting too good at this. Yes, here we go. Oh, let's just continue, okay? Internet being internet. Yes, hopefully, it's going to last a little bit. I cannot see any issues with the broadband. Let me just check one more time, okay? Because it's saying that everything's okay. Let me just double check again, because my service provider is saying everything is okay, so I have no idea what's happening. And it's always happening around this time, which is not very nice. Not very nice. Let me just have a little look here. Yes, you can all see me, hear me. Excellent, excellent. So fingers crossed, okay? We've been through this before, and it's kind of outside of our control, but we can work through it. Let's have a look. Oh, can you see this? Guys, just a little bit of warning here, okay? Can you see? It's telling me again, intermittent again. Seriously. So the service provider is actually, I would say, probably the best in the UK, the biggest in the UK. If you're in the UK, you probably know which one it is. But for some reason, it's exactly the same situation a couple of days ago as well. Just intermittent. So it's not down. It's not down. Because if I was just watching YouTube videos, I probably wouldn't even notice. For encouragement, I hope you enjoy stitching with the chat and me as well. And Vadu, he says, you are cutting off. Is it happening? No, it's not stable. If it's down, it's down. If it's down, no one can do anything. But if it's like this, kind of unstable, having a physical cable may help. I'll look into this. But it seemed to settle down a little bit just now. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And the service provider, they're quite good at fixing things, normally within, very short period of time. So Betty says sabotage from whom? Yes. Conspiracy theory. I love it. And who would be sabotaging Yogi? How dare? How dare they? Here we go. Okay, so 310 done. It's back. Your heroes beat us. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to move over. There's some really attractive colors here. There's greens here and there popping up, and there's really bright orange as well. And that's lifting my spirit. Mandy says, no sound. We can't hear you. Oh, that's strange. The microphone is okay. Can you guys hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up? Thumbs up if you have the sound. But my connection says it's good though. It's stable at this point. So if you can hear me, give me a little thumbs up there. Give me a thumbs up. Let me see. Okay, good. Oh, yes, the sound is back. So do not panic, okay? See anything that's, a little bit weird. It could be just the internet doing whatever it is. So either we're kicked out, or if we're still here, then be patient. Okay, let me, I don't know if I can find a cable that's long enough to connect with the machine, but I'll look into that. Okay then, let's have a look. Let me have a look at this area here. Okay, 145 on GeckoRouge. Yes, it may not be super stable. Let's see how it goes. If it becomes just, like really annoying, we'll just have to come back tomorrow. So that's just, or some other locations even further. So, I'll just give it a few minutes and see if it will settle down. I know, sincere apologies, guys. And I'll definitely look into the physical cable solution, see if that helps. Normally, we've been streaming for every day for over a year now. And to be honest, we go through patches like this, but, recently it just so happened it's a little bit more frequent. Walk away says buffering. I can hear you says yes. Do I sound far away? Do I sound like I'm talking to you from another universe, like a parallel universe? I know. Or another dimension. It's entirely possible. Rose says I can hear you again. Good. Yes, it happens, and it's part of the probably just one of those things, because my setup is probably not as professional as some full-time streamers. They probably have everything all physically linked up. I mostly rely on my Wi-Fi, which is high speed, which is great, and it's the fastest company in the UK, but still, when it comes to, and also the connection is not down. It's the fact that it's just not stable, and streaming is just not, it's not very forgiving when it comes to unstable signals. So let's see how it goes. Dragon says so anxious. What will I do without Yogi? Yes, we if we do get kicked out again, we will come back tomorrow, okay? Do not worry. And I'll look into maybe a solution for this type of situation. If anybody knows where I can get the really long internet cable, that's probably a good idea, isn't it? Hi, Rachel. Rachel says, I need motivation to go to my running yesterday. A mysterious flying insect bit me twice on the chest. Mysterious insect. That sounds terrifying. So it's an insect you do not recognize. So we're not talking about mosquitoes. We're not talking about bumblebees. It could be alien, like alien insects. Yeah, sometimes you get this kind of, let me see, 2.8. Let me see if 2.8, I can get away with it. Sometimes you can get this kind of buffering thing if your setting is not done properly, but that's not the case because I've been using the same setting for quite a while now. So some of you say you can hear me now. Good. Thank you for bearing with Yogi. I know it's part of the a Yogi live stream experience. Okay, it's like the stream just disappear mysteriously, and the test will be, can you find your way back here? Oh, guys, you're passing with flying color. Yes, mysterious insect doesn't sound good. I mean, if I'm gonna get bitten, at least I want to know what actually bit me, you know. Mandy Moran says eBay or Amazon for long cable. Yes, I think that's probably a good idea, you know, because the connection is not down, it's just unstable, and with Wi-Fi, it's a little bit more shaky. I just have not bothered to do it, but I think that's probably a good move. And also, we've been so lucky as well. You know, I kind of got away without, you know, simply just using Wi-Fi, which is a little bit risky. But we've been very lucky. We have not, you know, like the New Year marathon, 11 hours. We had no problem, no glitch. Connections. But he says, we love you, Yogi. Thank you so much. That's so kind. And Rachel says it wasn't as painful as a bee sting, but definitely not mosquito. I usually can't feel those. Really? You cannot feel mosquito bites. And also mosquito bites is not painful. Mosquito bites are itchy, right? You just get that allergic reaction and then it gets itchy. But bee sting is different. Bee sting is my friend who was a nurse, and I was checking with her, and just in case it's fatal, it's fatal being bitten by, being stung by a bee, and she was laughing her head off. She was like going, "Hey, Yogi, you're not gonna die, okay? Do not worry." I thought I was gonna die. Yes, go for it, Rachel, and enjoy your run. Dragon Lady. Let me have a look. Dragon Lady says, I've become a two-fisted drinker. There's so many meanings to it. Dragon Lady. What's two-fisted drinker? Coffee in one hand and water in the other. How about two-handed? Two-fisted. That's so funny. Yes. So one on each side. Yes, coffee and water. But the thing is, I have those as well. I always have water anyway, and I drink a lot of coffee. So Rose Jackson says, no need to invest if you don't need to. We have been super lucky not to have a lot of connection issues. Yes, I'm one of those people, if, you know, I only do what's needed. So unless I'm pushed, I kind of just go, yeah, it's working so far. But I think, you know, to prevent this type of episode, which is, you know, if the internet is just down, then there's nothing we can do. You can connect all the cables you want. But it seems like it gets unstable sometimes. So hopefully a cable is going to help a little bit. But thank you so much, Rose. So kind. Walkaway says, I had a painful bite from a yellow jacket once. What's a yellow jacket? And it bled something awful and was very painful. What's yellow jacket? Is it like a bee? Marsha says, hey Yogi, coming to you from the middle of the ocean in a ship that has not stopped rocking since we got in 2 days ago. Oh my goodness. Wow, yes, that's the thing. But Marsha, you sound like you go on cruises all the time. So do you get unwell? And oh dear. And it's rocking. Is it because of the weather condition or it just rocks? So when shipping company, you know, cruise companies, when they say we rock, do they mean literally they rock? That's my fear, you see. I would never just venture out and do a 10-day cruise. I'll probably do one that's like 2 hours to see if I survive. And I have not done too well with, you know, ships and boats. So I would not even go there. Hey, Joyce. Great to see you. And I hope the new home has all settled down. Let me end this thread here. It's getting a little bit short. I was stung by the bee, a bee. I thought I was going to die. I seriously thought I was going to die. It was on my upper arm and it's kind of swelled up quite bad. I was terrified. Yes, I think Marsha's cruise is like a month. Yes, I think Marsha's cruise is like a month. This is only day 2. What are you going to do? Yes, Marsha, I'm glad you have internet connection there. Because I think Janine is going on one that's 10 days. She's probably vomiting, projectile vomiting right now. Okay, Janine. Sincere, my condolences to Janine. And Janine had never done a cruise before. So, you know, that's very brave. To go from 0 to 10-day cruise, that's quite a commitment. It's not like you can just get off the, you know, the cruise ship and just walk home or anything like that. All right, I'm going to pick the next one. It's probably not orange. Let me have a look. So I might work on this bit. All right, 62 is a brown. 62. There. Walkaway says, I live in Arizona for 10 years. Scorpios will get into our house on occasions. It sounds so exotic to have a Scorpio. I've only seen Scorpios in computer games. I have fought Scorpios, giant Scorpios, that I had to fight with a hammer or something, or like a wood stick. But otherwise, I've never come across a Scorpio. Oh, you know what? A few years ago, it was a thing that you can go to, some department stores or whatever. They sell chocolate-coated Scorpios. I ask you, it was kind of a novelty thing. I don't know who actually bought them and ate them. Some crazy people. Are they edible? Scorpio. Do they taste like chicken? Yes, Marsha says it's only been 2 days. And now they're in New Zealand tomorrow. Yes, so the destination, was it in Las Vegas or something? I cannot remember. I remember you say it takes like 1 month to get there. That is so brave, Marsha. I feel trapped. I'll probably just feel trapped being on a cruise ship. And I don't care how big it is. And with 24-hour buffet. I know, we love buffet here. But yes, there's no amount of delicious buffet is going to lure me on a cruise ship. It's just not my thing. So Marsha is selling from Sydney, Australia, to, I think, Las Vegas, isn't it? Hawaii. Okay, not Las Vegas. Hawaii. How? Suzanne, it totally resonates what Suzanne has just said. Suzanne says, imagine how fly tastes when it flies in your mouth while biking. Well, luckily, I've never had something that large flying into my mouth, but I have had small insects, like tiny ones. And I also have ones that kind of flew into my eyes. I ask you, particularly in the summer, very often when it's windy. And if you're cycling with the mouth open, sometimes you just have to breathe, and something you can feel something just, got into your mouth. And I always try to swallow very quickly, erase the evidence. So I do not want to enjoy the taste in any shape or form. But sometimes you get like tiny, tiny insects kind of fly into your eyes. And I feel really bad because they're just minding their own business, and lo and behold, it's all over for them. Laura says, I've had a Scorpio lollipop and ate a seasoned cricket. My goodness, what does that mean? So Scorpio lollipop, does that mean you kind of licking the Scorpio while you're eating the Scorpio? Oh my God. What did it taste like, Laura? I don't want to know, but I want to know. You know what I mean? It's like, and cricket as well. I think some countries eat kind of locusts. Is that the same as cricket? Similar? As Suzanne, I think majority of people hate bugs. Well, not hating them. It's just like, it's just unnecessary. I'm sure they're lovely, okay? I'm sure all insects, they're just lovely, just like kitties. Oh no. Suzanne, but I think the feeling's mutual. They're probably just minding their own business as well. They just go la 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 la, just having a lovely day, and behold, they bump into you. I think the feeling's mutual. Yes, Joyce, I know, I know. Yes, Joyce says swallow bugs, you shouldn't, you're vegan. That's what I say every time, if I swallow like a bug and I'll go, oh dear, I've broken my rules being a vegan. Do not eat bugs. Bugs are not part of my diet, okay? Not normally. Dragon Lady says, I think if we can't mention kale, we shouldn't mention eating bugs. Yes, we can mention kales. We love kales, don't we, Chad? we love kales. Yes. Samantha, hello. How nice to have you here. Samantha says, hello, been super busy outside lately since the weather has been beautiful here in Michigan. How lovely. It's much better than storms. It's a nice change from being snowed in, isn't it? And I'm so happy that you're enjoying the weather. That one over here. Let me have a look. Where should I go from here? So I'm going slightly longer distance in terms of cross country, which is slightly risky but great fun. It's thrilling. And it's always a thrill when you know you've got it correctly, when you reference the stitches around and everything matches up. You feel the sense of victory. You do have to be mindful though. Hi, Needles. Needles keep me busy. It's in the chat as well. Welcome. Susan says face mask, Yogi. You have to hold me at gunpoint for me to put on another that damn face mask again. Never, ever again. Thank you very much. You know, we put up with that for so long. I'm done with the masks. Yes. Joyce says, so you don't eat honey, but enjoy a bee every now and then. Luckily, Joyce, I have not swallowed a bumblebee, okay? I think I'll probably have to, have some sort of therapy afterwards if that happens. So far, they tend to be very, very tiny bugs. I don't even have names for them. Like, particularly in the summer, just tiny, tiny little, maybe green ones. They fly into your mouth, they fly into your nose, they fly into your eyes. Tiny, tiny insect. We're not talking about like a giant bumblebee, okay? Fingers crossed, that has not happened yet. Samantha says, no more snow, it melted down. How nice, and it's so drastic. The changes of the weather is so drastic where Samantha is. Amanda says, definitely a kale hater. Most dark leaf greens are just so bitter. I even think iceberg lettuce is bitter sometimes. And I find white rice very flavorful. Well, that's not a fair comparison, but also I'm a big, big fan of green leaves. Iceberg lettuce is one of my favorite things to eat. I can eat like over here you can get like a bag, like salad bag, and I can eat an entire bag in one setting, and I'll just put some carrots on top, some cucumbers, because it's getting, well, not quite hot, as such, but warmer. And I just crave for a fresh kind of raw salad. So I've been eating a lot of lettuce leaves and, just anything crunchy and raw. I'm very happy eating. And I'm a big, big fan of kale. You guys know that. And also spinach as well. All the green veggies I love. Leafy vegetables are so good for you. And particularly if you're vegan, it's a great source of protein as well. A lot of people don't know green veggies are full of plant protein and green beans as well. So they're a great, great source of plant protein. And I love I love spinach. My favorites right now are lettuce leaves, iceberg lettuce, and also red green pepper. Not red green pepper, red peppers. I don't know why red ones, but I love red peppers right now. So delicious. Walkaway says, Yogi, thank you for the needle threading demo. I've been practicing and I think I have it down now. Wonderful. Yes, it's a clip I got from a few streams ago, and someone just came forward and asked me to show them how I thread. And so I thought that clip was really helpful. So I extracted that clip, and hopefully it's going to help some stitches. Because threading is, quite an important part of stitching. I mean, even if you don't park, you have to, if you switch color, you have to thread all the time. If that's a pain point for you, it kind of, it compromises your ability to enjoy stitching, isn't it? I know you can use, needle threaders, etc., but it's kind of one extra items you need to have around in order to stitch. And I find hand threading is very easy and also a lot easier. You don't need anything. You don't have to look around to find your needle threader. So, and I'm so happy that that was helpful. Oh no, Betty. Betty says there's a nasty rumor that we eat several spiders in our sleep in our lifetime. No, Betty, no. What kind of rumor is that? That's a vicious rumor for sure. No, tell me that's not so. I do not eat spiders. Not regularly anyway. But I can see that happening because they're kind of really quiet spiders. I think if you have cats, you probably have less spiders in the house because naturally they probably hunt them down. And I don't know what the kitties do. They probably eat them. But if you don't have, kitties in your house and you have spiders, it's not impossible because, some people sleeping with the mouth open and they can just crawl in. And maybe, as some people say, as the people who actually eat spiders, some culture, there's certain culture, some cultures, they eat spiders. And according to them, they taste like prawns. They're a form of, prawns of some kind. So maybe if you're asleep and you like your seafood, okay? I know we have seafood stitchers and we have seafood eaters. You probably close your mouth in your dreams and thinking, oh, that was delicious. I'm having delicious lobsters. And that's it. But in actual fact, you just, consume maybe not the first spider in your life. It's entirely possible. So if you dream about eating seafood, okay, think again. Maybe not. That's not the case. So Amanda is a big fan of fresh veggies as well, raw veggies. I think in the summer, sometimes I have no appetite. So the only thing my body kind of happily eat will be raw vegetables. But I do put a lot of, olive oil and What else do I put? Sometimes I put tofu if I'm bothered. I'll fry some tofu, grill some tofu, and just pop it. And a lot of nuts as well. I'll sprinkle some nuts, so there's additional protein. Sarah says, I've never craved green leaves. Really, Sarah? Oh, I do crave kale, I crave spinach, and as I said, I love lettuce. I can eat tons and tons of lettuce. So delicious. Oh, let me take a sip of my coffee. Guys, I have to whisper, okay? I don't want to jinx anything, but I think that the connection is stabilized a little bit. Do you not think? I'm whispering, okay? I'm not saying anything, all right? Let's just keep it quiet. Betty says, I've created lettuce, have eaten head of iceberg with salt for lunch or supper. I can totally do that. Sprinkle a little bit of salt, drizzle a little bit of olive oil. I can just eat an entire iceberg lettuce easily. Delicious. Okay, I'm going to move over here. I'm trying to figure out what this bit is. I'm going to stitch and find out. Okay, 145. 145 is an orange. One, 4, 5. That's a strange symbol, isn't it? But it kind of appears quite a lot on charts. It's a weird one. Walkaway says, I love not having to bring out a needle threader. Exactly. And particularly if you have to thread and unthread quite a lot, it just becomes like an extra thing you have to do. It's a bit of a burden, isn't it? I think before I learned how to thread it this way, I had to go through a period of using needle threaders as well. And a lot of them, you know, the old-fashioned ones, they break quite easily. Those thin wire one that, you know, I can go through quite a few of them very quickly because it just, they're not very sturdy, are they? Okay, I'm going to go from the bottom here. Let's find out what this bit is. And if you think about it, a lot of seafood, because the people who have eaten like a giant spiders and stuff like that, they just go, well, it tastes like prawns. And if you think about it, if you look at the belly of the prawns, of, you know, lobsters, it looks identical to insects. I think they're insects in the ocean, seafood. You know, prawns and that type of stuff. They look like insects. I think they're related. Samantha says, my cat Pearl eats all the bugs in the house. Yes, I think cats kind of secretly do that. It's kind of side snacks, isn't it? If they just go around, they can do a bit of hunting and a little bit of snacking as well. I know. No calamari, exactly. That's why. Oh no, Amanda. How did that happen? Amanda says, I bit into a milli millipede. Is that one of those really long ones by accident? How do you accidentally bite into something like that, Amanda? I need explanation. And she says, definitely nothing like a prawn. It made my tongue numb. Oh dear, how did that happen? That is, things like that do not just happen by accident. Were you really hungry at that time, Amanda? That's terrifying. Catherine, hello. Susan says Yogi's eating the squirrel's nuts. Well, the truth to be told, occasionally I have to steal the nut, okay? Most of the times I have a portion just reserved for my squirrel friends. But sometimes my portion runs out, Susan. You know what it's like. And when you need nuts, you need nuts. And sometimes I do steal a little bit from my squirrels, stash, okay? Do not tell my squirrels. They're going to be so disappointed on me. Sometimes, because my own nuts, that's a strange word, nuts for human in this house, for me and Mr. Yogi, I like to lightly roast them. So they're kind of roasted. And for my squirrels, their nuts are not roasted. So they get all the nutrients and stuff. And occasionally, I have to go into their stash and steal a few nuts. Okay, Susan, it's for survival, all right? I don't do it lightly. One, two, three. And Turtle Stitcher Heather says, I just got here. I'm trying to figure out the connection between letters and spiders. Oh, how did we get here exactly? And also spiders and prawns. Spider salad. I bet it's probably delicacy for some people. Maybe some people watching right now, they're going, yum, that's a great idea. That's what I had yesterday for lunch. So at the moment, I'm just literally just picking whatever colors that takes my fancy and just go to the area that looks interesting and just start stitching. Oh, Amanda says, climbing to the crisps bag. Thank you for the explanation. Yes, chips over where you are is crisps over here. And oh, so you were eating crisps or chips, potato chips, and it was a handful. I poured out and put in my mouth. I inspect all the chips bags and handful of things now. Oh, so that little insect was inside your potato chips. No way. Did you sue the company? You'll probably get millions. And was it a live one or a dead one? Oh dear. One, two. Hang on. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Walkaway says, I took the fairy kiss to the framer counter at Hobby Lobby yesterday. I won't regret it. Oh, yes, you finished it, haven't you? And now you're going to frame it. Is it quite large physically? And why not? I'm sure you won't regret it if there are professional framers. That's very exciting. Catherine says allergic to seafood and roaches and any other insect. Have you tested it on seafood and roaches? And you get allergic reactions. Yes, I think there are definitely relatives. You know, if you look at, as I said, if you look at the belly of a lobster, it looks no different from a cockroach. I'm so sorry if you love your lobster, but it's true though. The belly looks identical. And I don't think it's accident because a lot of sea animals, you know, become ground animals, or the other way around. I don't know. I know. If you love lobster, if you, maybe you're going to have lobsters for dinner, okay? I'm so sorry. Sincere apologies. Shelley says, good excuse to turn vegetarian. Yes. But you know, quite a few years ago, there was this movie called Babe. Do you guys remember? It was maybe year 2000 something, or even before that, years and years ago. And it was a little piggy as the main character. And everybody fell in love with the movie. The movie was doing really well. Apparently, the sales of bacon dropped all-time low because people just go, oh, that looks like Babe. Let's not eat bacon. Yes. And it probably didn't last. Catherine says allergy tested for insects and also food. So for insect, are they tested for you getting bitten or you eating it? So would you get the same allergy if you eat certain insect in theory? Let's say if you came from a culture that eats giant spiders, but you're allergic to seafood, does that mean you're probably allergic to the spiders as well through, eating? Brittany says, is this a restart? So if you're asking for the stream, yes, this is restart. It's a second start today. But if you're talking about this piece as well, yes, this is restart as well. So double restart stitching session. Yes, this, so I first stitched, first got this pattern from GeckoRouge. It was back in the beginning of 2023. And I stitched quite consistently of that piece for 2.5 years. It wasn't until end of last year sometime that I noticed there were errors. Not GeckoRouge's fault, not pattern keeper's fault. It was my fault, because when I got this pattern, I was pretty inexperienced both in stitching with, this type of charts, but also I was quite inexperienced with pattern keeper as well. So what happened was when I imported the chart, when you import certain charts, it's got like 3 rows or 3 columns kind of overlapping with each A4 page. And this chart has a little bit in the very beginning. It's kind of offset from the edge by 3 rows, but it doesn't repeat for the rest of the pages. But for some reason, I saw that, interpreted that as the overlap. So my chart basically was imported to Pattern Keeper with all the pages overlapping, the 3 rows and 3 vertical columns, and without me knowing. So the markup actually looked kind of the same until you look very closely. And so when I discovered that error, it was end of last year. It was 2.5 years after I started the first, this piece for the first time. So I had to make a decision on what to do about it. And this could happen to, all of you, really. Well, not all of you, maybe some of you, if you're, not familiar with the process, or maybe misreading the chart. So it's always good to check the final stitch counts to make sure it actually adds up. I didn't. I just looked at the markup and it looked fine. But this chart is so big, unless you look very, very carefully and zoom in very, very carefully, you probably wouldn't notice some minor, overlapping. Oh, this thread is playing up. Let me have a look. What is happening here? And so I had to make a decision. So I decided to restart because, I could see the sort of errors, even though I didn't notice before. Once I discovered the problem, I could see it. I could not unsee it, if you know what I mean. And so I decided to restart. It wasn't easy, but it had to be done. But luckily, you know, GeckoRouge, they give you a lot. Oh, I think these ones I'm going to undo because my thread kind of frayed, so I had to cut it off. But luckily, GeckoRouge, they give you quite a lot of material. So other than the fabric, I had to buy it myself. Pretty much, I'm stitching with the thread, the same thread they supplied. And I still have tons and tons of thread. Floss says, why the would you eat a giant spider? Well, for some culture, it's part of their diet. And just like some culture eat insect, locusts, that kind of stuff, it does happen. I think spiders, they're eaten in some parts in Africa. I'm not sure. I've definitely seen something like that happening. They eat sort of giant ones like tarantula type. And apparently they taste like prawns. Okay, so I've done that bit. Next one, 61. Catherine says they do scratch tests for trees, insects, fungus, etc. No idea on spiders, but don't want to eat any of them. So they are testing for ingestion, so for eating, not if you get bitten by spiders. That's interesting. So Catherine is saying that a lot of grains are contaminated. Guys, if you love grains, a lot of grains are contaminated with insect residue. I think some of that's an issue. Well, I suppose in a natural environment, for instance, in the wild, because there's a whole ecosystem, isn't it? The insects, the plants, the animals, etc. It forms a circle, I presume. So I think, insects definitely come into equation with plants, etc. And it's probably not surprising they will leave some sort of marks on the plants. I don't know, maybe you can wash it off if you clean it carefully. I don't know. But I think it's harmless if you're not allergic to it. If you're allergic to it, maybe it's an issue, right? Because otherwise you're just part of what it is. Oh, Rachel, you're making grains so appetizing. Well, sometimes it's probably better not know. If you start thinking about, not even about, insect contamination or anything like that. I think for anybody who has worked in restaurants, which I haven't, I have to say, but if you speak to anybody who has worked in a kitchen, they probably tell you, just do not, try not to find out what they do in the kitchen. And I think people who have worked in the kitchen, they're probably more wary about going to restaurants because all sorts of things happen. you know, either it's hygiene or human things people, you know, things the chefs or the waiters do. So it's better not know. Ignorance is the biggest blessing, I think. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. These colors are so pretty. Rachel. Oh dear. Exactly, Floss heaven. Cover the ears, cover the, you know, the eyes. La 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 la. Is it chocolate time, Sarah? It's that time of the night. Hang on, let me do these 2 stitches and we can have some chocolate. Oh, my chocolate situation tonight is very exciting. Okay. I cannot wait. 1, 2, 2. Just one more here. Well, in fact, why don't I just park it here? So I can just come back. Yes, chocolate time, guys. Chocolate time. Rachel says, I worked for restaurants for 10 years, seafood restaurant, retirement center. Right. Yes. I think people have, you know, coming from the inside, like have been the insider of restaurants, they tend to be a lot more cynical about the situation. All right, then. Let me zoom out a little bit and let's enjoy a spot of chocolate and the fact that we're still live. Yay! What a blessing that we're still here. All right, then. Let me move it over here. And today, can you hear that sound? Ooh. Susan says, put the spider aside, chocolate time. Yes, let's change the subject. Yes. Can you hear that? Ooh. Yes. The giant chocolate buttons are back. Yes. I still have the cherry, the black forest, but today for a change, I got my giant chocolate. Okay, unboxing. Yes, here we go. It's a new bag. And let me know what you're snacking today. If you're snacking crisps, potato chips, watch out for insect on the inside. Seriously, what kind of stream is this? Just putting people off snacking. No. Snacking is mandatory, okay? For our stream here. Here we go. Oh, brand new bag. Let me show you. Woo! Well, a flasher, yes. Oh, they all look pretty intact. That's nice. Look, sometimes they're a little bit broken. I've got a couple of broken pieces here, but not too bad. I've got a couple of them, but majority of them seems to be fully in a button shape. Yeah, let's go for a full button first. Cheers, guys. I'll try not to stain my fabric. I'll do my best. Cheers. Oh, Susan is having black forest. Yes, I still have my black forest. And oh, Floss Haven says, I've got strawberries. That's very nice. It's going to be strawberry seasons very soon, isn't it? It's just, you know, whenever there's Wimbledon. Sorry, I've got giant chocolate butter in my mouth, okay, and talking at the same time. And yes, I think strawberries are going to be in season very soon. I think strawberries has to be, you have to eat them in the around the season, because not around the season, in season, because if you try to eat chocolate, not chocolate, it's all jumbled up. If you try to have strawberries out of season, sometimes you can. They kind of, either ship them from other countries or maybe have them stored up for, for out of season. They just taste terrible. And badly tasted strawberries really, breaks your spirit. My spirit, anyway. And raspberries as well, lovely. I love raspberries. I don't know if raspberries is seasonal, because you can probably find raspberries all year round in the supermarket. And Sarah's having hearsays chocolate, milk chocolate, very nice. I saw a video about chocolate around wartime just yesterday or day before. It's really interesting because apparently, in the army, during wartime, the soldiers, they have to carry their own ration, sort of, not very appetizing stuff, mostly like tin stuff and kind of dry biscuits, that kind of stuff. Apparently, they were given chocolate as well. But this brand, I'm pretty sure is a Hershey's. They were tasked by the government to create a version of chocolate for the soldiers, but they were told to make it sort of not very tasty, if they can possibly help it, to make it sort of nutritional, nutritious, but not tasty, because they don't want the soldiers to start kind of snacking on chocolate. They just want chocolate to be part of their diet. And because chocolate, the way they make chocolate is not like what we have here. It's like they added all sort of, stuff to make it to last very long, and also really hard as well. And I thought it was fascinating. They try to make the chocolate less tasty, because they don't want the soldiers to start having chocolate time. Just sit around a campfire, forget about fighting, with enemies, and just start having chocolate time. So I can totally understand, because if they have a bag of this they carry around, they're going to sit down, have a cup of coffee, every half an hour. So I thought it was an interesting part of the history. Yum. Second button. Rachel says, I have conscious bar, chocolate and strawberries. Oh, nice combination. Very luxurious. And Michelle says, tonight we're going to an award ceremony to honor my bonus boy. He's receiving Rising Phoenix. Hang on a mo. He's receiving Rising Phoenix Award for students who have overcome extreme hardships and who are excelling. He deserves it. What? Oh, amazing. Rising Phoenix. That name is fantastic. Rising from the ashes. Yes. And so is this the same boy that plays tennis? Because I don't know how many sons Michelle has. I know one is playing tennis really well. Betty says, I love strawberries but very allergic. Oh, that must be bad. To be allergic to your favorite food. Imagine if I'm allergic to kale. Oh, that'd be devastating. So Floss is eating strawberries from Netherlands. That sounds lovely. Amanda says chocolate time always falls during our supper. Yes, I know, how annoying. You know, different time zones, just so inconvenient. I'm going to have one more chocolate button and then come back to stitch. Very nice. And I've got my coffee as well, my black coffee as usual. Hey, Dolly, how are you? Sweetie? Are we having a little bit of Dolly time as well? Let me just find out what Dolly wants, okay? Just give me a little sec here. Hey, Dolly, what's going on, babe? You're not hungry, are you? Babe, come on over here, sweetie. Oh, I think she wants to go outside, so let me go and open a window for her. Hang on a sec. Right, she actually wanted food, actually. And her bowl was completely empty. So there you go. Now she's happy. Yes, Floss, I love that. Yes, Floss says, maybe we should feed all the soldiers tasty chocolate and end all wars. I think they didn't think of that, did they? They tried to make it not tasty, so they focus on wars. But in fact, exactly, just enjoy the chocolate and just do not fight anymore. Yes, that's a very good policy. Joy says, yes, I also had strawberries this week. Oh, so is it in season in Netherlands? Yes. Because over here it's normally around Wimbledon, which is when? Is it in May or June? Something like that. I remember it's always hot during Wimbledon. Oh, when strawberries are good, they're so good. But when they're bad, when they're kind of watery and bland, oh, it's so upsetting. Because, you know, the expectations are always high with strawberries because they're so beautiful. But, you know, you can't really tell just by looking at them. Sometimes they look great and then they taste awful. It's a bit of a potluck. Oh, Michelle says, this is my friend's son. All right. Yes, I bet there's probably a story there somewhere about the hardship. Okay, I'm going to end it here with this color. It's very tempting to venture further, but I think it's going to be a mistake. So let me just end it here. There's something, taking shape here. I wonder what that is. Floss says, my dog is crawling and a picture of Dolly. Serious. But it's interesting because they measure animals' intelligence by whether they recognize themselves in the mirror. So cats and dogs, they're both, when they look in the mirror, I don't know whether they recognize that's themselves, but they know there's a sort of, another cat or another dog. And I think they use that to test if an animal is self-aware, if they know that's another me. I don't know when cat and dogs, when they look into the mirror, do they just see another dog or cat, or do they know that's themselves? And I think they probably try to test that by I think with some animals, they try to put a dot on their body. And if for animals who are self-aware, they will try to scratch themselves and try to remove that spot. You know what I mean? Which is fascinating. I didn't know that was, you could test them by doing that. 62. And I'm sure some animals probably, even if you show them the mirror, they wouldn't know what they're looking at. Floss says, I think they understand mirrors are 2D. None of my dogs have cared about their reflection in the mirror. Interesting. I think my cats, well, Dolly, I cannot remember last time she checked in the mirror. But with my cats, from my experience, they definitely see something in a mirror. They know. I don't know whether they think it's another cat or it's themselves, but they definitely recognize there's something in the mirror. And also there was a really fascinating thing. It's slightly mind-bending, I don't know, because the only way we can see ourselves, if you think about it, we never really truly look at ourselves. You know what I mean? We're not able to see ourselves with naked eyes directly. And the only way, the only version we ever see ourselves are through either pictures, which is not real, and also mirrors, if you think about it. And a mirror is also kind of, it's a mirrored image, isn't it? Literally. It's not, you're not really looking at yourself, you're looking at a reflection of yourself. So if you think about it, we will never be able to look at ourselves, ever. like for real, which is kind of slightly, it makes me, it kind of gives me a small panic attack. It's just one of those really weird things. The fact that we can, you can never, I can look at you, but you can never truly look at yourself. It's not possible. Hi, Nutty. Rachel says, my cats put their front paws up on the mirror and run their front paws on over again. Yes, they try to kind of interact with their own reflection. And some of them would kind of play fight with a reflection. But the fact that they're not hostile, a lot of times they're kind of just curious and look at the mirror image, but they're not hostile. If they're seeing another cat or another dog, they should, they should have their defense up. But the fact that they're not maybe means that they know maybe that's themselves. Or just another really friendly looking doggy or cat. Floss says my dog barks and growls at dogs in the background of YouTube videos. Yes, they do, don't they? And sometimes they watch videos of birds flying. They think it's a real bird. And sometimes they look after behind the computer, trying to find it or something like that. I've seen videos like that. Yes. So they probably interpret it as real. The Mickey Moo says, welcome, says, when my cat saw himself in the mirror, puffed up his tail. Oh, so maybe if that's the case, that means the kitty thinks that's a different cat, not themselves. But not all cats become hostile. A lot of cats, they just become really curious. And maybe it depends on the cat. Some cats interpret it as other cats, and some of them probably think, well, could that be me? Rachel says you can look down the rest of your body, just not your face. Yes, you can look down, but the angle would never be the same as you look at the other person. Because when you look at the other person, you look at them, you're facing the front of the body. And looking at your body is different from looking at you as a whole, which is quite a weird thing, because just one of the things is it's just not possible unless you can fly out of your body and look at yourself. Some people claim they have out of body experience, but other than that, you can never really truly look at yourself. That's the mind bender. Rachel says, you mean yourself as a whole? I guess you could in a dream. And in a dream, you're not really looking at yourself. It's an image of yourself that you think that's what you look like. And Floss Haven, that's quite true because quite a lot of sort of with cats and dogs or animals in general, it's probably not always visual. They don't totally rely on what's visual. It could be the smell. Yes, so maybe they look in the mirror, they see another image, but because there's no smell from another cat, they're not alarmed, you know. They know that there isn't really another cat or a dog. It's fascinating. One, two. So I'm just taking my stitches to whatever direction that makes sense. Let me see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. For some reason, for 28 counts, this is my happiest stitching method. It just feels like 28 count is inviting me to kind of just fly, just go wherever I want to go. I don't want to park. I don't want to stitch block by block. I don't want to color flow. And talking about color flow, oh, I have not finished Gemma's video tutorial just yet. I need to go back and watch the rest of it because I watched about half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, and I need to go back to watch the rest. Rachel says the Cross Stitch Studio is having a sale, and there's a piece called Prismatic Kale. For all you kale lovers, really, there's a piece about kale. It's got to be a beautiful piece. Kale stitching is allowed, okay? No seafood stitching, but kale stitching is encouraged. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One, two. And there's a cross stitch, what is it called? Cross Stitch Studio. That's a new one. There's a new name that kind of popped up recently. Susan says, looks like a rose to me. What is? What does? I mean this. What I'm stitching. Laura says, stitching masterpieces is making kits for her Etsy patterns. I think you have to ask for it, so I don't know any prices. All right, she's a pattern designer, isn't she? She's got an Etsy shop, I remember. I think I had a quick look when I first discovered her, and so she's kitting up as well. But that's quite an operation, isn't it? I think in order to kit up for your customers, I mean, selling patterns is one thing because it's all digital. But to kit up, you literally need to have an inventory, like some sort of stock, like warehouse or whatever, to store all the material. I don't know why you would want to get into that. It just seems very labor intensive, and also all the shipping and stuff like that. That's very brave of her. Hi, Jackie. Welcome. Jackie Manion. Hello. Laura says, you know, put in a binder in her floss count method. Really? She would do that for the customer? Because she's got a very unique sort of floss organization going on. But that's got to be a lot of work to do that for your customer. And 2 more stitches here. Laura says she said she has some YouTube shorts that show the kit. Interesting. I haven't checked, looked into her channel for a little bit. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to her, but I have not seen any new videos recently. I don't remember. But she's very clever. And it's fascinating that she seems to be doing primarily 10 stitches as well. And the fabric count, I don't think she does 25 count, does she? All the pieces, I think they're slightly larger pieces, so maybe that's her preference. She does 2/1 tenth. Okay, let me have a look. 67 burgundy. Here you go, right here. So Susan says the kale pattern looks like a rose. So it's not kale. One, two. Here. I think, you know, if I have to compile a list of my kind of all-time favorite floss tubers, I'm trying to think in my head. Gemma, definitely. Gemma stitches will, the top three is hard to say which one is top three. I think Gemma stitches and Komari and Needle Ninja will be three of my favorite. And of course, Joyce as well. And Joyce I discovered during COVID as well, Stitchy Dachi in a chat. And yeah, these ones, maybe I should have top five. And there's one more place for another one. Who would Stitching Masterpieces as well. I forgot to mention, yes. So it's going to be, so if I have a top five floss tuber that I love, would be Gemma, Joyce, Komari, and Stitching Masterpieces. Sorry, I don't know the lady's name. And Needle Ninja, she doesn't create content anymore. Not for a while. I hope she comes back. Yeah, that's my top. Was that five? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Susan says Yogi's been posting the group. What has? What are we talking about? Sorry, I'm probably not totally following. And also, yes, during COVID as well, when I was, you know, looking for a lot of information on how to stitch full coverage as well, I came across quite a few Japanese stitchers as well. For some reason, they just stitch in a very unique way. So I think who else I was following? May 51. I was following as well, and Candy Mama as well. I think I discovered Candy Mama might be a little bit later, but Nido says Komari sometimes does the last leg of the cross stitch twice. Do you know why she does that? Really? I mean, the last leg of the stitch twice. I mean, just random stitches or the stitch she's going to end the color with. I haven't noticed that. Have you? We've got some Komari experts in the chat sometimes. I have not noticed that. Laura says, I used to love Needle Ninja and Stitching Dreamers. Stitching Dreamer. But they both haven't posted in a long time. I think, that happens a lot, isn't it? Because ultimately, creating content is a hobby for most of us, unless you kind of do it full time. Very often, if kind of life takes over or for whatever reason they don't want to do it anymore, they stop doing it. So I'm really grateful people like Gemma. She's so consistent. And Komari, her posting pattern is not always regular, but she's around enough that we know that she's still active. But yeah, I think people do it as a hobby. Sometimes they just, for whatever reason, they can't do it anymore or don't want to do it anymore. And I remember learning when I was watching Needle Ninja, to be honest, she was mostly doing 10 stitches. And I remember thinking, why would you want to do 10 stitches? Because at that time, I had not tried 10 stitches just yet. I didn't really start 10 stitching till the beginning of last year. But I was watching her just purely fascinated by the way she stitched. And also she's got such a calming way of talking, and that was very soothing, and she was a very good kind of a storyteller. She would just, stitch slowly and just talk about stuff, which I like. So, but who knows? Maybe she's going to come back at some point. Walkaway says the first floss tube I ever saw was Stitching Me. Quite a long ago, my last favorite to watch is the Nightly Stitcher. Oh, I'm going to look them up. I'm not familiar with either. But I'm sure there are tons and tons of stitchers, floss tubers out there. I'm sure I came across quite a few other channels, but it's sometimes you just, you watch certain channels. Oh, there's another one I forgot to mention. Yes, of course, Stitching Smiles. There's a really young couple. To be honest, I'll be totally honest with you. Most of the times I watch, not because I wanted to see what she's done, because she really shows her pieces kind of close up. Okay, so I never get to see what she's actually stitching, and she stitches tiny stitches. She's probably a little bit like Kristen, tiny stitches, but it's more about just a really relaxing chat, and she just talks about, she's very generous with sharing her life stuff. So they're in the UK, if you want to look up the channel. They had not posted for a little bit until very recently. They came back for one episode, but I have not seen another one just yet. It's been a little bit, a couple weeks. But then again, they've have new baby, and they've got 2 kids. So I'm sure the priorities are different. But that's one of my go-to as well. Nita says, I think it might be the last stitch. I saw it on the traveling library over weekend live. Okay, so Nita is saying the Komari may be stitching the last stitch, the last leg of the last stitch of the color before she ends the thread, I'm guessing. Maybe it's just to secure Maybe it's a way to secure the thread, because she doesn't really do any ending method, and it's been a talking point for us. But maybe I have not noticed that she did that before. Maybe she was doing it all along. I just didn't notice. But if she was doing it, I'm guessing it may be just to secure the thread a little bit more. I'll watch more carefully next time. Rachel says, I remember stitching Dreamer. I also like Stitchery Lovers. Yes, Stitchery Lovers. She popped into the chat a few weeks ago, which is very nice. Well, the reason she's such a beautiful stitcher, but the only reason I don't watch her as frequently was the background music. But it's her style, so I totally, totally respect that, and she's doing really well. So. But I do occasionally go over and have a little peek just to see what she's doing. Wow, so everybody's a Stitchery Lovers fans here. And Walkaway says, I start every day with Stitchery Lovers. Amy, yes, her stitching channel helped me through really bad time of my life. I couldn't even hear, chat or talk, but needed my stitches every day. That is so nice. Yes, I think I particularly, I love those floss tubers that I mentioned. Partially, there's an emotional attachment as well, because it's very much linked to what happened to our lives at that time. And I discovered full coverage during COVID. And it was a very different time, a very unusual time. So everything just had extra meanings, the things we did at that time. And kind of everything has that memory embedded to whatever we did at that time. So the full coverage journey for me, in a way, is very much linked to the whole COVID period. Laura says, Komori sometimes uses the May 51 ending. Really? I've never seen that though. Normally, if I would, watch her, closely on how she starts and finish, she normally just do the second stitch, like that. And then she would do something underneath. Very often I'll kind of see her hands moving underneath the fabric. I don't know what she does, maybe just to cut off and leave a little tail. But she normally kind of, there's a movement she does under the fabric. I can't see. I have not noticed that she does the May 51 method. That'll be interesting. Maybe it's a new development. But also with her way of stitching, to be honest, she never does this, right? She never goes too far. She just flow her stitches out very short distance. So in a way, whatever tail she leaves underneath get stitched up. So it's relatively secure. She can probably get away with not ending, specifically. But if you leave a long tail, at some point, it's going to get stitched in. Laura says, I really want to see Busy Mom stitch with me. Yes, Busy Mom normally does whip parade, like weekly ones. Yes, Busy Mom should do a stitch with me. I think it's a different kind of, well, it's all very, very much part of sort of floss tube genre, but kind of slightly different, isn't it? Stitch with me is literally what it is. You have a companion stitching with you, whatever they're stitching at the same time. Even this, the same with replay. It doesn't have to be live, but whereas what's the other one? The whip parade is interesting to see, but it's more focused on the progress. So, it's a little bit different. I love watching people stitching, just, close up, and I can see how the person works. It's very therapeutic. Sarah says, I like watching Crafty Emily. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. It's nice to discover channels I've never seen. I also discover GeckoRouge through cross stitch Smiles. Yes, I have to think about the name sometimes. Smiles is their surname, so that's why. So yeah, it's all linked together. And I discovered Gemma because I was researching parking method and diagonal stitching method, and she came up. I was fascinated immediately. Okay, switch color. This is another orange. And 83. Michelle says, I have started watching Busy Mom's channel from the beginning. It's fun to see her journey from small projects to full coverage. Oh, yes, I think Busy Mom has been doing it for, I remember asking her last time, I think 2 years or something like that. So yes, I'm sure you can see the progression of the person's choices of projects, It's fascinating. Laura says, Busy Mom's method is so different to mine, that I think it would be so interesting to watch the block by block diagonals. Yes, I'm feeling a little bit guilty. I need to go and watch Busy Mom's content. I just haven't got time to watch anybody's content, to be honest with you. So occasionally I have a little look, but time is not on my side recently. But I'll definitely will go and watch those. But Busy Mom's stitching method, I'd love to know. But I know she's got a lot of projects. Crafty Tabby Cat says, hope everyone's doing well today. Joining from work club. Yes, welcome. And I hope you are enjoying your work today. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. And that's 1 extra stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of relaxing not knowing what I'm stitching exactly. I like the kind of just not caring about, I'm not trying to do anything other than just stitching. It's quite relaxing. Because sometimes you kind of go, well, I'm trying to stitch this flower or this vase or whatever. But I'm just stitching. I don't care what it is I'm stitching. Ooh, I can see. Okay, I forgot to mark a couple of stitches. I think that's what. Okay, no problem. Let me just mark those 2 first. That cannot be right. Those 3. Right, okay. Those 2. Forgot to mark. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I think so far I'm doing pretty good in terms of not making mistakes yet. 1, 2. Oh, hang on. 1, 2. One, 2. And for 28 counts, I'm actually not doing the 5x5. It's just too small, I find, on the fabric to draw the 5x5 as well. It just becomes really cluttered. This is quite shocking, guys. It's the end of April and May is just around the corner. Can you imagine? Because not very long ago, we just celebrated New Year and we did a marathon. And lo and behold, It's almost May. And for this one, I am going to start here. And also last Saturday, we didn't get to do a member stream. So for this week, this Saturday, hopefully, we can do a double stream and one for the members. And I think we can do another side quest. I think going forward, we can do, if we have anything sort of theme that we want to do together, for instance, like black work or anything like that, specific, we can do that. Otherwise, we can just have regular side quest, because everybody's got sort of something else that we do on the side. And we can just have regular side quests. And occasionally we can have a themed stream as well. Because even through side quest, it's really interesting for myself as well, because, it gives me opportunity to work on something that I don't get to work with you day to day. So it kind of gets me thinking as well, and also to dig into my own projects from the past, and maybe revive some things, or to do things that I don't normally have time to do. Like needlepoint, for instance. I'm really happy that I revived those projects. Oh, Suzanne says, and Alex will be 18. I can't believe it. When is Alex's birthday, I wonder? And night, Suzanne. Have a great night. Yes, Suzanne has been doing floss tubing as well. It's just, exciting to see some of the stitchers venture into floss tubing as well. I'm pretty new myself. I'm a complete newbie in this world. I didn't even know what floss tubing was until maybe COVID time. And I discovered a whole genre that's happening here. Oh, just one stitch here. Single stitch. Brittany says, I got my daughter's recital costume, homemade sushi bowl for supper, followed by some stitching before bed. Oh, that sounds lovely, the action-packed. Sushi bowl as well, homemade, very healthy. That's wonderful. Suzanne says, I figured out how to get Saga on the screen too. Yes. I think it's quite easy for Mac. If you have a Mac system, if you have a Apple computer, you just plug it in, isn't it? Michelle says Suzanne did a fabulous job. Her voice is very relaxing. I enjoyed it. I said that because before Suzanne started doing more on her channel, she had posted tutorials, just short clips for the Facebook group. And I remember listening to her voice. I go, Suzanne would be great for either tutorial or some sort of, floss tubing. And she's got a lot of knowledge to share. And having a soothing, a nice voice people want to listen to is great. That's definitely an advantage. I did say that to her. I said, you have lovely voice. And so, Michelle, you're correct. 83. And it's precious now that we have real human voices because so much content on YouTube right now, it's all AI voices. Oh, Scantis says, I watch a couple of Suzanne's too. Enjoy them. Wonderful. Ah, so Suzanne, your Sagas is on Android. Okay, so that's a different deal. Android, you do need to figure out how to do it. Yes, I think Suzanne has got truckload of knowledge to share. Yes, and Ellen's channel as well. Yes. Have you guys been to Ellen's channel for Mondays and Fridays? She says she's going to do Mondays and Fridays when I'm not stream. And it's so nice of her to do that because she can absolutely stream any day she wants. She can stream exactly the same time as me. No problem. But she's like going, I'm going to just do those 2 days that you're not doing your stream. That is tremendous. Oh, I like this color. 23. 23. It's a bright red. 23, it's a red. Well, not quite bright, but it's red. Clara says, love Ellen's. Yes, it's nice to have, choices. And also, these floss tubers, you already, know them before they, even start doing this. So it's like watching a friend streaming. It's great fun, isn't it? Walkaway says her streaming's fun too. I love seeing her cats when they show up. Oh, really? Oh, they're doing so much better than Dolly, isn't it? Dolly wouldn't even stay in the room. I think she's just, turned into a diva. Yes, Ellen's got cats as well. It's wonderful. Yes, it's mandatory for cats to make appearances. Yes, it's like hang out with friends. That's what it is. I think that's why people love Stitch with me. It's like having a stitching companion, isn't it? And see you later, Suzanne, 99 Sweet Dreams. Lynn, hello. Lynn, are you not late for the party? Have you been cheating on Yogi and watching Komari again, Lynn? Lynn says, hi, Yogi. I know lovely Stitches and Cynthia. What's Helen's vlog name? Oh, it's not Helen. Ellen. Ellen is guys. Can you type in? I can't remember. It's a Cisc. Yes. If yes, exactly, Clara. Thank you very much, guys. If you want to look up Ellen's channel, she streams. I think for now, Mondays and Fridays when Yogi is not here. So you know, you have Ellen to hang out with. Those two. Let me see. Where am I? Here. Two. Okay. Oh, I lost my spot completely. I looked up the screen and totally lost my spot. No kidding. It's here. Walkaway says, my cat is 17. She disappeared into her hiding places when people are around much. Well done, 17. Yes, the other day, I think I saw a video of a cat is 21. Still, live and kicking. Definitely. Okay. Lynn says that's a nice color. I know this is a lovely color. It's kind of rose, slightly rosy kind of color. I'm always excited when I'm stitching red. There's just something about it. And I lost my spot again, Lynn. Your fault. Oh, here. I know where I am. Yes, it's a little bit tricky because when you have this type of formation of stitches, you know, normally if you're kind of just easing away from the edges, or if you're doing a block, when you look up and look down, it's very easy to find your spot again. Whereas when you have all these stitches, like this, sometimes you could spot, you can just look at totally different spot and start stitching. It has happened. It can happen. And Laura says, Yogi, are you going to do a marathon sometime soon? Well, I think now you mention it, it's about time, isn't it? But you know what, Laura? That's a really good reminder, because if you guys remember, I do have a Stitches So Beautiful pattern waiting for me. Do you remember that one? The other one? I started a 14 count pattern, but I do have another one, the bigger one, if you remember. And I did say we may start that pattern in May sometime. And maybe we could do a marathon to celebrate the start of that one. So we can do a Stitches So Beautiful marathon. So it's not going to be a regular SAO day necessarily, and you don't have to stitch the same pattern as me, but it'll be nice if you grab a Stitches So Beautiful pattern and we can do a marathon. So it's possible we could do that. It's about time, because the last time we did it was technically last year, wasn't it? New Year's Eve. Technically last year. So we have not done one this year yet. What? Amanda says 24 hours of cross stitch is coming up this weekend. Perfect time for a marathon. 24 hours cross stitch is coming up, really? Amanda, are you are you doing something we're not aware of? Hi, Elsie. Laura says, I hope they have a sale in May for Mother's Day. They probably would. I don't know. Yes. I think what they normally do is, instead of a sort of website-wide discount, they give out a code if you follow them on the social media. But normally we'll probably get a post on our Facebook group anyway. By somebody, so we should know if they have another sale. And I'm actually quite looking forward starting that one as well. That one is going to be pretty epic. It's large in size, but also, Stitches So Beautiful. Apparently, I've only got one pattern so far, but apparently it can be quite confetti. And also this larger one, I'm stitching max color as well, so it's a probably slightly different experience from the one I started during the retreat week. it's a London Marathon this weekend. Is that what Amanda is referring to? So Lynn says, Yogi, are you running the London Marathon this weekend? Lynn, let me think. No, not really. But you know, I was once upon a time, when I was running a lot before my injury of the right knee, I was quite inspired to do London Marathon. But do you know how hard it is to do London Marathon? You know, there are only limited places because the London Marathon is one of the biggest marathons in the world, and it's actually very strict to participate. So I remember looking into it. I was thinking either I do a half marathon. There's one. I can't remember where that was. Maybe it was Scotland or Birmingham, something like that. There was a famous half marathon that I wanted to do, but also I looked into London Marathon, and unless the easiest way to join, to be part of, to take part is to join a charity, and then you do fundraising for them, then maybe they qualify you to give you a spot. Otherwise, if you want to join London Marathon purely as a runner, it's so hard. There are limited spaces, and also you have to get through, you have to run at least a couple of other races, like half marathons, and have relatively good, track record before they were considered to give you a place. It's actually not just, just because you want to run the marathon doesn't mean you can join necessarily. Most people go down the charity route because it's, you don't have to be the fastest runner. You just need to raise money for them. But Lynn, are you running? If you're running, I'll run with you. Jackie says, Stitch is so beautiful. I have 3 for sale until end of the month. Have a 3 for 2. Oh, right. I saw they did that on a regular basis because every time I went to their website, I see that kind of on the website saying if you buy 3, you pay for 2 or something like that. I thought it was a kind of regular thing. But so that's one way you can do. If you have more than one you want, you could do that. Amanda says nothing to do with London Marathon. It's a group that started around 2018 or 19. They used to do them every once in a while, but now they often do every month or so. Very fun. So 24 hours, but not live. If that's what you're talking about, I think I probably heard one of the Stitches. We kind of talked about it before, quite a while ago. I don't know if it's the same event. So 24 hours is not live, is it? Not live for 24 hours. It's kind of a 24-hour update thingy or something like that. And our Sarah actually runs her own marathon for a few times, like 45-hour marathon. I think she just did one back in February. Rachel says it's kind of like the Boston Marathon. You have to qualify. Yes, Boston is a really big one as well. I presume a New York Marathon, those larger ones, they don't want people just kind of turn up willy-nilly just just run or walk. There will be places for charity runners, but if you want to join as a athlete, even like just regular runners, amateur runners, they want to see that you actually have done it before. Not marathon per se, but they want to know that you have done at least half marathon, etc. Because they probably just, they don't want the entire marathon just full of people who decided to run a few weeks ago, They want to keep it as a athletic event. Lynn says, Yogi, we could borrow my brother's two horses for the marathon. Lynn, it's called marathon for a reason, as in, for running, okay? If you get horses, now we're veering into a slight different territory. It's called cheating. I remember talking about watching those documentaries about marathon cheaters, and some of them have really sort of, creative ideas on how to cheat, and it's hilarious. And some people hop on, public transportations pretending to be just, normal person and suddenly try to merge back into the race. But nowadays, most races probably have people live streaming or on TV, etc. So you can always tell when there are people kind of just trying to blend in from nowhere. And also everything has got tagging as well. So you can't just cheat like that. So Lynn, if you start joining the race with a horse on horseback, I think it's quite noticeable. Do you not think, Lynn? Maybe we need to come up with something a little bit more discreet. One, two, three. One, two. Oh, it's doing something here. I don't know what it is. Laura says, I'm eyeing two stitches so beautiful called Childhood Dreams or Sea Cottage in a Bubble. Lots of fish. Lots of fish. Well, much better than, shellfish. I think if you have like a whale, it's kind of acceptable. I think whale, we can accept whale as similar to cats. I think it's it's not quite in the seafood category. Yes, why not, Laura? So why don't we do a marathon? Stitch is so beautiful marathon, right? And also probably quite a lot of people who are not aware of the company. It would be nice little shout out for them as well. They've got some beautiful patterns there. And it's going to be in May sometime, I think. So guys, athletes, stitching athletes, start stretching, okay? Do your training, daily warm up, and strength training for your marathon, okay? Amanda says, but we could run a live marathon. We could do a round robin and people in a group each host an hour live stream for total 24 hours or maybe one day. I try to kind of do that, not quite round the clock for New Year because obviously, being in the UK, I can only stream around certain time. And I think at that time I was trying to get Nikki to do a relay marathon. But she did one afterwards. But yeah, she did one a New Year. But by then I was in bed. I finished my stream and in bed. And I hope you're well, Nikki. We haven't heard from Nikki for a little while, have we? Hopefully she's just busy and everything's good. Chiviz says hello. Oh, you're back from work, are you? Out of work. Wonderful. Congratulations. Now it's time to play. Time to play. So this one we have 2, 3. Ooh, there's a little bit of situation here. Let me have a look. Let me count. 1, 2. Okay, so this one I maybe counted is 1 stitch off, but no one notices, right? Let's face it. There's supposed to be 2 blocks from this stitch, but I've got 3. I think I can fix it. One, two, three, 4. No one will notice. I'm fudging, okay? Chiviz says, lurking while I'm working on some cookies for a customer. Really? Are you a baker? You're making cookies for a customer? Ooh. Mona Senior Moments. Love that name. Says hi everyone and welcome. If you're new to us, say hello to Mona's. Yes. It's quite okay to have some senior moments. And Elsie says, I'm a golf widow again. More time for stitching. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is your time to play. Golf widows. I think my mom was, well, happily. My mom was happily gold widowed because my dad was so into playing golf at one point. I think people can really get really obsessed with playing golf. I cannot see the attraction, okay, personally, but I know people can get very obsessed with it. But I think my mom was quite happy with that development, so she got left alone. Catherine says your stitches were correct. The one you put, the first one is wrong. Should be on the pyramid. Yes. So the pyramid is. Are you talking about this one? It's actually one stitch too low. So that's why this stitch is on there instead of, so everything, these, this little triangular shape and that one as well, all these stitches are one stitch too low, one row too low. So I try to correct it by placing this one on the correct location. It's complicated, but ultimately I think with this area I can definitely fudge it. No one will notice other than Catherine, okay? Nothing escapes the chat. Wow, Chivers is the baker and cookie cakes, all kinds of stuff. And Chivers, you're doing it professionally. You're a professional baker, are you, Chivers? Wow, that's really impressive. I always think it must be such a, well, I suppose if you're working in the bakery, it's quite high pressure because you probably have to get up quite early, don't you? Because you want to bake all the bread before the shop opens, and that's quite early in the morning. And also at the same time, I think it must be such a therapeutic, profession, because you're making, first of all, you're surrounded by baked bread smell, which is probably one, other than coffee, I think baked bread is probably, the most pleasing smell in the universe. And also you're making things that people love to eat. Ask anybody who doesn't like freshly baked bread. No one. So, your profession is like the opposite of dentist. I mean, dentists, apparently, there's a high percentage of them having depression because no one likes dentists. Everybody's dreading to go to dentist. And when you're doing a profession that everybody kind of, they dread to come to see you, it probably affects how you view yourself in some way. And everybody loves a baker. Lynn says, my mom and dad used to play bowls and they were both in teams. If mom's team won dad's team, I used to go in the mood. Oh, so you have to pretend. You have to go pretend that you lose to dad. Yes, bowl is interesting, isn't it? Bowl is a little bit like golf, isn't it? It's not golf. It's hard to explain. It's quite popular if you go to, I remember going to Scotland and there are a lot of people playing bowls. But I don't think it's a competitive sport, is it? It's not sort of competitive games that people play. Well, I mean, as a game people play, but not as a competitive sport that's on Olympics or anything like that. But yes, always pretend to lose if you know someone, if your partner is competitive, okay? For a peaceful life, just let it go. Just pretend to lose. It will work out better that way. Let me see if we can squeeze one more stitch with this very short piece of thread. And do not worry about this bit. I will fudge it. You won't be able to tell the difference. This area is quite fudgeable, luckily. Chivi says, not professional baker, it's a side job, hobby. I'm officially a school teacher, but have a degree in graphic design. Wow, that's a... Yes, I thought you were a baker because you said you were doing cookies for customers. Wow, so you're a teacher and you have a degree in graphic design. Wow. That's multi-dimensional skills right there. And I enjoy baking as well, but I'm more of a sort of intuitive baker. I'm not a scientist. You know, a lot of bakers are very precise. They're on, you know, the quantity and the chemical reactions between ingredients. For me, that's totally off my head. I'm more of a I just fiddle, you know, I fiddle my way through baking. And I managed a few to bake a few things in my life. Amanda says, I like the dentist. I fall asleep during a root canal because being at a dentist is so calming. You're kidding me, Amanda? You're probably the first time I have come across to say going to dentist is calming. I think Amanda just enjoys the the soothing effect of the, you know, just being put to sleep temporarily. Luckily, well, I have to say, you know, I talked about the fact that I've been to, well, knock on wood, I've been to doctors in my entire life, you know, 37 years. I've probably been to doctors under a handful of times, to be honest with you, for, you know, and I'm probably including the dentist as well. So, you know, I don't have a lot of experience as, you know, myself being a patient to go to to go to the doctors, but also I've never gone under, you know, under sort of been put to sleep. I think at one point I remember doing a procedure. They asked me if I want to be partially anesthetized or fully, and I decided to go halfway because I'm just terrified to be put to sleep in any shape or form. I just do not trust them. And I watched this documentary. Okay, guys, this is a documentary. I'm sure it's very, very rare. It was about people being put to sleep before surgery, but they were actually still awake. So for some people, they have resistance because when you go under, they put one is to numb your body, and another one element is to numb your brain. Basically, you fall asleep. But the thing is, they managed to make the body paralyzed, but their brain didn't go to sleep. So they knew what was being done to their body. I was terrified. I remember watching this documentary. I was having nightmares. And so, you know, unless I absolutely have to, I refuse to be, you know, to go under. Laura says, what's bowls? Oh, there you go. Yes, here's another discussion. Just like, I don't know, all the other things that we talked about. Lynn, do you care to explain? It's kind of like a mini golf. It's not golf, but it works a little bit like golf. It's very often played in sort of, you know, villages where people get together. They're sort of, you know, they play sometimes. It's not, I've never seen it in London. Normally it's when I go to sort of countryside, villages, you know, kind of, it's quite, it may be British. It's got to be, isn't it? I've never seen it anywhere else. Amanda says, you're making me want actual fudge. Oh, Lynn explains. Lynn says, Laura, they roll balls on grass with a ball on top. They have to reach one nearest wins. Oh, is it? So there's no holes, is that, Lynn? So it's not like golf. You have to hit the ball into. I think you hit the ball with something that looks a little bit like a hammer or something. I'm not an expert on balls, okay? I've never played, but I've seen people playing. Amanda, oh, Amanda. Amanda says, when kids were little, it was one of the only times I was alone. Amanda, guys, look at this. Amanda was so overwhelmed by having to take care of everybody. She was enjoying being going under because this is the only time she was alone. Oh, Amanda, I weep for you. I weep for you. Yes, life was so overwhelming. The only time you can relax is being drugged. Oh dear, and put to sleep temporarily. I hope things are better now, Amanda. Can you imagine you just, pretend that you have dental problems so you can go and just have a nap. And Catherine is doing crochet. Lovely, yes. Oh, sounds like croquet. I don't know what that is. I don't know what croquet is. Oh, no, crochet. Yes, croquet. So it does sound like that, is it? Maybe there's a version in the US as well. But over here, you really only see people playing that in sort of villages and small towns. I have not seen it in London. I saw you were doing crochet. That's fair. And what about cricket then? Cricket, oh no, it's not spelled the same way. It's the cricket. It's not croquet, it's not cricket. Oh my God, it's going to be so confusing, okay? Cricket is cricket. Guys, you know what cricket is, right? It's like baseball, British baseball. It's a little bit like baseball with nicer outfit, okay? You dress up to play cricket. Walkaway says we played it when I was a kid with the little brackets you hit, right? Ah, so cricket uses mallets, so it's like a little hammer, wooden hammer. I think that's how a ball is played as well, isn't it, Lynn? It's like a long handle with a hammer bit. I'm not an expert. I probably butcher that, but let me pick one more color here. I want to pick a color I have not stitched today. Or maybe something red would be nice. Yes. That one looks lovely. 44. It's a red as well. Elsie says it would be hard to pick design from stitches so beautiful unless there's a theme. I did see a squirrel one for you, Yogi. Yes, you know the one I'm stitching? Let me see if I can bring it up. You don't have to, okay? You don't have to pick anything similar, but I know quite a few stitchers already get patterns from Stitches Beautiful with a heart shape. It doesn't have to be from the same from the same artist. Let me show you the pattern I'm going to be working on. Okay, that will probably be easier, and you can pick and choose whatever you like. They do have quite diverse styles of patterns, but this is what I'm stitching, guys. Look at this. So this is by an artist called Adrian something. You guys probably know. I need to check the name. Okay, but this is this artist specializes in heart shape. It's like all the artwork I've seen from her, all the patterns I've seen, they kind of work around the heart shape with different styles. So this one is apparently inspired by Van Gogh style, and she created this piece. It's absolutely beautiful. So I fell in love with it. So this one is the largest version. So they've got a mini, I'm pretty sure. They probably have a mini, and they have regular size with regular colors. I may be remembering not correctly. Sometimes they've got quite a few different combinations and versions, a little bit like Heaven and Earth. And also they have larger size, regular size with more colors. And this one is larger size, the biggest one, and most colors. So let me show you the dimensions. This one is 600 by 600, and it's got how many colors? Let me see. It's got 179. It sounds quite modest from Heaven and Earth terms, but for Stitch is So Beautiful, I think that's the highest they go for most of the patterns I've seen. So just under 180. And this piece is absolutely beautiful, and it's got so much going on there. So I'm looking forward to. I have not decided what fabric count I'm going to do or whatever it is, but I will by our marathon. So it's up to you. You can pick something that's along similar line. You can look up this artist, or you can pick whatever you want. I think it would be nice to give spotlight to companies maybe not most people know of. I think Heaven and Earth, most people who do full coverage probably quite familiar, but I think it would be nice to do a different one. Yes, cricket and croquet, they're different, I bet, yes. Oh, croquet, it's called croquet, okay. Because it's spelled like rocket with C. Yes. Croquet, cricket, crochet. I did it. Lynn says, Yogi, you roll a ball, it is weighted. Oh, that doesn't help me. Me and sports of any kind of ball games is just, we don't see eye to eye. Yes. Susan says you're mixing balls with cricket with croquet. Balls are hands thrown rolled to a target. Really? With hands? But why did I see the villagers using a bat of some kind? Croquet used a mallet to hit the ball through a hoop. Huh. Busy Mom says, I have this piece. When is the marathon? Okay, we haven't got a date yet. I have to look at the calendar. It's most likely is going to be on a Saturday, okay? Following our tradition. It's always Saturday, we do the marathon. And it's going to be May sometime. I need to check before I can come back and and confirm, but it's going to be, you know, maybe mid-May, something like that. So just get your patterns ready and, you know, and we can just go. So bow is throwing with your hand, is it? Oh, then I have no idea what I'm talking about then. So I can look up the artist's name. It's called Adrian something, Busy Mom. Is it called Adrian thingy? I'm just terrible with names. And this piece is called something fusion. I just do not remember anything, guys. But I can probably post it on the Facebook group if you'd like to look it up. It's beautiful though. My heart kind of races a little bit faster when I look at it. All right, so it's 27 past midnight. Time flies. And I'm going to make a few more stitches. And so this beautiful rosy pink is going to be my last color. Oh, yes. Thank you, Busy Mom. Yes. Wonderful. So the piece I just showed you guys is called Vibrant Fusion by Adrian G. Ayer. Hopefully I haven't butchered the name. And so she's got, I think it's a lady, right, Adrian? Could be a guy, I don't know. Adrian can be a male name, Connie. And yes, the artist got quite a few patterns being converted, you know, for cross stitch by Stitches So Beautiful. And they're all kind of surrounding the heart shape. So it's very unique. But you don't have to pick the artwork by the same artist. You're welcome to just pick any Stitches So Beautiful patterns. So you still have some time to decide what you would like to stitch with me. Walkaway says, I've stitched 257 stitches during this session. Not bad since my hands are bad today. Happy stitcher here. Wonderful. That's really, really good. Yes, I'll see if I can beat you, Walkaway. But when you say this session, do you mean including part 1? Yes, that counts. This is part 2. All right then, I'm going to make this one the last one here. And so I'm going to end my stitch here. And of course, I'm going to share with you my stitch count, okay? Let's see if I can beat Walkaway. Let's see who's going to be laughing. I mean, Walkaway's is already laughing. Let me see if I can laugh louder. 44. Going back on my board. Passion for Stamping says, do they do Saga compatible designs? No, the patterns are Pattern Keeper compatible, but I have managed to convert their patterns through conversion, obviously, through cross stitch paradise, and everything converted pretty much 99% correct, other than any thread numbers that's got 0 in front. Saga doesn't seem to, Paradise doesn't seem to recognize it. So you have to manually change those. But there are very few. I think for this pattern that I showed you, only 1 or 2 colors I had to correct manually. But other than that, but not directly compatible. They do not provide those. So just so you know. Maybe they should consider it, because, you know, Saga is becoming more and more popular. And why not? Because all they have to do is just, you know, produce another export. I think that's all that is. So, and they're going to make, you know, a lot of stitchers happy and broaden, you know, their customer base, I think. Let's have a look. Walk Away says part 1 and 2, and total for the day. Oh, wow. So for the session is 257, but for the day is 657. Okay, then Walk Away is definitely laughing much louder than me. Okay, so the total I'm going to show you is going to be today's count. Okay, and it's unlikely to exceed Walk Away's number, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. Here we go. Guys, so today mostly I've been working on this area. Can you see that it's looking more and more interesting here? And this is a little mitt, woolly kind of mitt there, and it's, you know, I'm not quite there yet, so I'm going to travel gradually. And so far the stitch count seems to be correct. I have not miscounted like entire block yet. Okay, so far so good. And once we make that connection, I'll start to stitch this little mitt there. And so I have a great fun. It's your job to remind Yogi to start a new sprint. And what did you do, Susan? Yeah, quickly blame someone else. Quickly blame someone else. That's my strategy, okay? And Susan, you're not doing your job today. Look at me. Look at my screen. See what's happening. So it's going to be, a little bit tricky, because I did a little bit of stitching, few stitches last night as well. So let's have a look. We do have the calendar. We do have the calendar, but it's going to get mixed up a little bit from the stitches I did yesterday as well. I put in a little bit, okay? But Susan, everybody blames Susan, okay? So I'm going to look at the calendar and see what I've got here. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, let's have a look. Okay, guys, I have to confess. Blame the buffering. Yes, I will blame the buffering. Betty, very good, very good. Any excuses I can have, okay? And so 450 is not from today, okay? I would not claim that. It's a combination of what I stitched yesterday. It may have passed midnight yesterday, because I came home yesterday. I did a little bit, not too many. So I'm guessing, how about 350? How about 300? Lola, have you just joined us to say goodbye to Yogi, are you? How about 350? Can we settle with that? 350 stitches for today. Yay for Yogi. Yay. And Lona has just joined us as well. And Lona, have you just started your session? And yes, so guys, this is 35 minutes past midnight, and Susan is probably falling asleep as well. And Yogi is going to sign out from the sleepy London town. And great stitching session with you, Susan. Yes, and I will see you tomorrow. It's our Dimensions Day. Let's celebrate their patterns, dimensions, and hopefully, maybe they're going to be revised.